Namaskar, friends. When you have to cross a river and you don't find the boatman and there are few boats, what do? You go and check the boat's condition. Out of few boats, what you found, all boats have some one hole, two holes, some cracks, some damage and all that. You found one boat which has a small hairline crack in the bottom. What do? Do you take the boat or do you wait? Few people were telling me, I will take the boat. There is no compulsion, friends. You can always cross the road later. You can get that boat repaired or you get a new boat. But the friends, with the human body, it is not like that. Time and tide waits for none. So we have to live our life with what? With the present body. So is your body good? Is your body is not having any holes? How do we know that? So there are few indicators, very clear indicators. Number one is the weight. Is your weight as per height? If you are overweight, understand you are traveling with a crack. Or if you are having over waist size, what should be the waist size? It should be half of height in inches. Suppose somebody is 5 feet 6 inches, that means 66 inches, about 33, 34 inches is okay. But somebody may be having 6, 7 inches oversize. What is the third one? Are you taking any regular medication? Whatever is the problem, your doctor has suggested you take the medication. Third. What is the fourth one? The fourth one is your blood pressure. So people say, my pressure is okay. Please check. It should be below 120 by 80. Now comes, there are 7 blood tests, friends. Very, very important blood tests. I've seen lots of packages, but somehow these, out of these 7 blood tests, very, very important tests, 3 to 4 tests are not generally part of the packages. At times, even if you pay more than 4,000 rupees also, you find one test is not at all there. So let's look at them. What are those 7 essential blood tests, friends? Okay, there are other tests also, but these 7 tests will give a fair idea about a person's overall health. I'm not a doctor, but this is my research and my reviews of people. Number one, the most important test is fasting insulin. Unfortunately, this test is not being recommended by doctors and lots of packages. Even if you spend 5,000, 4,000 rupees, many a time this test is not part of the package. To compound the problem, the range provided in the lab reference is too large. The ideal range should be 3 to 6, but the lab says up 3 to 25. It is something like it, friends. Somebody has to pass. 35 is the pass mark. Anybody who comes gets marks of 35 to 100, they are considered as pass. So many times what we see, when we see, first of all, we don't get it done. If you check also, when we see our fasting insulin level is say 10, 15, we think we are in the range. So this is one of the biggest problem, friends. So I always tell, suppose you are going out of country for 2, 3 months, what do? You safeguard your house. You lock your no, cupboards. You lock your money carefully. You lock your doors. You lock your bedroom. You lock your suitcases. All that, and then you lock the main door. And with all the keys, maybe 8, 10 keys, you go. When you come back home after 3 months, when you start wanted to open the door, you find the main door key is missing. Despite having all other keys, you cannot have an entry. I consider fasting insulin is the main door key. So please get it checked, friends, and it should be below 6. Next comes fasting sugar. See, fasting sugar levels will be under control for many, many years. Even an overweight person also, many times their fasting sugar is good, below 100. Lots of time you see in the parks and so many places, they do the fasting blood sugar, and even at 110, 120 also they say normal, nothing to worry. Friends, fasting sugar should be below 100. If fasting sugar had crossed 100 means you have lived a life of, indisciplined life. So don't go by fasting sugar test, friends. Fasting sugar below 100 is not a criteria to know that you are having not having diabetes or you're not having any health problems. The third one is HbA1c. It's a 3 months average. This should be below 5.6%. Above 5.7 to 6.4 is pre-diabetes. Above 6.4% is diabetes. When I see people who are overweight, visible belly fat, and when I ask them, I don't have sugar, I don't have BP. So how do you know you don't have sugar? No, I checked my fasting sugar, it is about 100. So as I told you, friends, fasting sugar criteria alone is not sufficient to determine in the first place whether you are diabetic or you have any metabolic syndrome. So what is the next? Is the lipid profile. In the lipid profile, most of the time we focus on total cholesterol and LDL. Of course, they're important, but the most important is triglycerides to HDL ratio. This should be below 2. That means what? Your triglyceride should be below 100 and HDL should be above 60. That means your range would be 188, 1.8 or so. If you are having good triglycerides to HDL ratio, that means you are insulin sensitive. Then comes, friends, thyroid profile. Lots of people, especially ladies, have thyroid problems. So just check. The range should be within the lab range. Ideally, the minimum maybe 2 to 3. Then comes important test, D vitamin and B12. What I have seen, friends, I have reviewed more than 4 to 500 blood reports in the last few years. I interacted with a lot of people. But let me tell you my own analysis. More than 80-90% of the people in India or the world also have low D vitamin and low B12. See, people living, especially in a country like India where we have a lot of sunshine, still the people are deficient. The main reason is we are mostly clothed and we hardly go in sun in a preferred time. So, what is the level should be, friends? The lab says 30 to 100. Here, the best is to remain at the highest. Maybe 70, 80 is ideal. Whereas insulin range, they are saying 3 to 25. There you should be the minimum 3. Similarly, thyroid profile also same. Same thing like triglycerides should be minimum. HDL should be the maximum there. Here also same D vitamin should be the range. If they say 30 to 100, try to be more than at 80, 90, friends. Similarly, B12. Why B12 we don't absorb is because of poor gut health. I've seen lots of people, despite taking supplements, they don't improve their B12. If D vitamin and B12 they are low, people will feel tired. People will not have a lot of energy. So, friends, these two tests are very important. So, what we have reviewed: number one, test fasting insulin, fasting sugar, HbA1c, lipid profile, triglycerides to HDL ratio, D vitamin, and B12, and thyroid profile. These are the 7 blood tests absolutely essential. With fasting insulin and fasting sugar, you can calculate insulin resistance. Let me tell you, friends, as I told you, that fasting insulin is the main door key to enter your house. Despite having so many keys, you don't have access to your house. Similarly, fasting insulin, once you have, you can calculate insulin resistance. How to calculate for insulin resistance? Fasting insulin multiplied by fasting glucose divided by 405. The value should be below 1.5. Let me tell you, friends, I have reviewed my own relatives and friends. I have 62 blood reports, age from 16 years to 63 and 65. Almost 90-95% people have high fasting insulin. With the result, they have insulin resistance. If anybody who has insulin resistance, what all will happen? The first and foremost thing is belly fat. The second is people gain weight. Third is people will have high lipids, like high cholesterol, high triglycerides, low HDL. People can develop blood pressure and can be pre-diabetic or diabetic. So, friends, let us understand these 11 parameters. I have shared this thing lots of times in my group. I keep on saying the same thing again and again and again because We must have the fundamentals clear. We should have our elementaries clear. We should be walking on the ground. We should not be on assumptions. So, friends, once you get this 11 test, find out how many out of 11 you're complying. Compliance is based on the readings I said. Don't go by the lab. If suppose out of 11, you are okay and say 6, that means say around 64% of your health score. Even then, that means you are traveling a boat with 4 holes. What can happen, friends? You may not sink immediately in sometimes, depends on the size of the hole and all that. So we are all traveling, I mean, leading this life with a leaky boat. Do you want to travel in a leaky boat, friends? It is not safe. It is unpredictable. So let's repair our boats. In the first place, let us look at what is the condition of our boats. I have looked at it, my 11 parameters, friends. I was diabetic for 12 years, so I still not able to bring my HbA1c level the best one. But I am able to live my life without medicine, and I am able to have my HbA1c around 7.7 to 7.2, 7.3. I'm making my best efforts because why? I did not have the right knowledge. I was not, of course, I was little disciplined, but what you require is the right knowledge and discipline. So once you have right knowledge and right discipline, probably you will be doing better. So thank you very much for listening, friends. Pay attention. I am conducting classes for one free Gurukula app, Mount Foundation, and listen to my videos. You will get these ideas. So what is most important is the knowledge and discipline are the gateways to your health, friends. So we have to constantly learn, unlearn, and relearn. This should be our mantra. That's how we can progress in life. Thank you very much for listening, friends. My name is Gangeshwar Rao. I am not a doctor. I do a lot of research. I help people free of cost. There is no commercial motive for me. So listen to my videos so you get the right knowledge. Once you become knowledgeable, what will happen? You will live a life consciously. You can make influence with your own family members, your relatives, and society. The other day, I shared a video. I was yesterday running from my Tinagar residence to Fort Railway Station. It's around 8 to 10 kilometers. So this idea is only to motivate others. So it was around 5:15 I started. I reached about 6:45, about 1.5 hour traveling it to 8 to 10 kilometers. So I shared the photos in my group. One fellow responded to me, "Don't be a health freak. People live only as per their, if the time comes, people will go." So he has given me an advice not to be a health freak. Friends, let me tell you, I'm not a health freak. My only goal is this one. I have no plans to extend my life. We don't know. We all come with an expiry date. If you see any medication, you see very clearly when it is manufactured, when it is going to be expired. That means you cannot use after that time. It is fortunately or unfortunately, we don't know. We all come with a stamp of expiry date. Only thing is we don't know. We don't know whether I can live until tonight, until the sunset. I don't know. Or I can live the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I have no idea. But what is in your control, friends? You live a life without medicine. You live a life without depending on others. You live a life with energy. You live a life with comfort. You live a life with joy and pleasure. So, how is it possible? It is only possible through your body. Lots of people tell me there is a heaven and hell, friends. Friends, there is no such thing called heaven and hell. Heaven and hell is here and now. If you are suffering in your body, that is hell. If you are living a life with medication, with lot of disabilities, lot of discomfort, with no energy, so you are living in a hell right now. So people think that, okay, I do this work, that work, I go to heaven. Not at all, friends. What is heaven? In my opinion, a person who has 4 things is living in heaven in the lap of God. What is that? What are those 4 things? Okay, the video is going longer, but I wanted to share this. What are the 4 things, friends, in life which determine that you are living in heaven? What are they? The first and foremost thing is your health and your energy levels. You are living a life without medicine, whatever age you are. That I call the number one. If anybody is living a life without any medication, he is energetic, he is comfortable, he is able to do whatever he wants, that is number one gift. So the health and energy is number one. What is number two? Number two is you have sufficient money. You are not struggling to pay your rent this month, or you're waiting for your next food where it will come. That's a very pathetic situation. So you have money for your wants, not for your wishes and needs. So that means you have sufficient money to live your life reasonably well without like I want a big car, I want a big house. That's I'm not talking about it. Just the basic things. Suppose if you have sufficient money, that is the second gift. What is the third gift, friends? Third heaven indicator. The third heaven indicator is the time available to you. See, friends, what happens when you're employed, when you're working, you have no time for yourself. If you're employed, you have to go to the office at 10 o'clock and you have to be there up to 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock. If you're doing business, you have to go to your shop and you have to stay there for 7, 8 hours. A retired person have a time at his disposal. Friends, I have disposal of time at my thing. I have no compulsions. So I wish if I want to do this, I will do. If I don't want to do this, I won't do this. So I'm the master of my time. I have reasonably good health. I have reasonable amount of money to manage my life. So I don't need any money. My requirements are less. So we have looked at health and energy. We have looked up to about sufficient money. The third one is the time. If anybody is retired, I think they are blessed with the time, but they may not be blessed with the health. So, what is the fourth one, friends? The fourth one is the relations what you have, especially with your spouse, your family members, your relatives, your friends, your neighbors, in general with the society. If you don't have a good relationship, that will affect your health. So, friends, this is all what I wanted to share with you. So pay attention, invest time in acquiring the right knowledge. Please don't think whatever I'm telling is ultimate. Not at all. Don't believe anybody, even don't believe me. You don't believe me, anybody, whatever they're saying. So observe, follow whatever they're saying, see if it is logical, reasonable. Adapt in your life. If you see some benefits, you follow it. Otherwise, dump them. You can even dump me also. So what is needed is experiment, keep learning, keep unlearning, and then invest time to improve your health. A lot of my group members, they don't even listen to the video, they don't even read. They simply ask me, sir, what to do. I understand. See, many times, why we don't change, friends? We don't change. See, many times, if you look at an example of the stockbroker Junjunwala, he's an amazing, intelligent person. He has tons of money and he has great knowledge, but despite all that he lived a life, especially in the end time, very very he was in a wheelchair, he has a lot of health problems, he was in and out of hospitals. Why so? Can you guess? Such a rich man, such a brilliant man. He has an access to everything. Why? It is because of the prarabdha karma. See, if your prarabdha karma is compelling you, even God comes and tells, we don't listen, friends. Even God is guiding us, we don't listen. So there is a small story I would love to share with you. It's very important. See, when there is a woodcutter living in very ages ago, a woodcutter living in jungles with a big family. He has four children and he is with his wife. And every day he goes to the jungle, he cuts the wood, he brings it to the village and he sells it. So that's how his life. So very difficult. Sometimes, he's not able to feed his people, so half-heartedly like that he's living. But he's a ardent devotee of Shiva. He goes to the temple, he does all the pujas, but in his free time, and he's an ardent devotee of Shiva. It was going for many many years. So one day what happens, Parvati notices this guy and says to Shiva, look, this guy is an ardent devotee of you. Why are you not helping him? Why are you not making his life better? He's living a life of poverty and misery, suffering, and all that. Not only he, his wife and family. Then Shiva laughs at him and says, no, no, this guy's prarabdha karma is like that. Nothing can be done. So Parvati doesn't accept this logic. He says, no, no, he is a devotee of you. He is devoting so much of time. You must do something. So Shiva refuses. No, nothing can be done. Don't waste your time. It's all comes with prarabdha karma. But despite so much of insistence, okay, Shiva says, okay, I will give him a small boon. What is the boon, friends? Whenever he cuts the wood in the forest, he ties them as a bundle, just about to lift and put it on his head. It turns out to be sandalwood. Whatever wood he cuts, because of the God's gift, it becomes a sandalwood. So sandalwood cost is very high, but this guy brings that particular day. He brings that bundle into the village, and he started shouting, firewood, firewood. So one Seth watches this guy, and he can feel the smell. And he says, this guy seems to have bought some precious wood. So he calls him, come, come, come here. So when that guy comes, he says, how much you are selling? He says, 1 rupee. Oh, I'm talking about hundreds of years ago. He says, great, do one thing. I will pay you 2 rupees. Please sell it here. And from tomorrow, where are you buying it? Where are you getting it? He said, from forest. So from tomorrow, whenever you get this one, you bring it to me only. Don't waste your time in selling. I will give you double the wages. So he was extremely pleased. He feels this guy seems to be a fool. He's paying me double the wages for this wood. All along, I'm getting 1 rupee. So then what happens? This guy comes home happily, tells his wife, look, I got 2 rupees, I got one sucker, and he bought my material for double the price. So he's very happy. Then he decides, look, now I'm getting every day 2 rupees, then why I should work every day? He decides, no, no, I don't want to work every day, I'll go every alternate day. So he spends more time on devotion, and he says, no, I got more time to do puja. So he does that like that. After a few months, the Parvati sees there is no change in this guy's life. He's similarly living in the same condition. Then he comes and says, what happened to this guy? There seems to be some trick. He asks him. He says, no, there's no trick. This guy's prarabdha karma is like that. Then, no, no, you are doing some trick. You must help your devotee. Look at now, he has increased his devotion also. So Shiva says, no, it's a waste of time. But she insists. He says, okay. What he does, one day this guy goes to the forest to cut the wood. So Shiva drops a gold of bag on his way back. So that Shiva Parvati, they feel that okay, Parvati, not Shiva, Parvati feels that okay, now this guy going to get this particular gold bag so that his life will improve. So that day, what happens? This guy ties the wood, and before just putting on his head, he thinks, look, I've been coming to this forest for years. I know this forest like back of my hand. So today I will try whether I can reach my village with blindfolded. I want to experiment. So he takes his cloth and he ties his eyes. He takes the wood pieces on his head and he walks passing that gold bag without noticing. So this is what is prarabdha karma, friends. When we are stuck with the prarabdha karma, we don't improve. Similar thing to happen in my life. 20 years back, I came to know about this hydration elimination. I felt it was stupid. Why the hell this guy is telling me to drink 3-4 liters water? He's telling two bowel movements. Don't we have any other work or what? So I discontinued. Now I'm only talking about this. So this prarabdha karma is a compelling factor. So people who are on a constant approach of learning, unlearning, and relearning, their prarabdha karma can change. It could change even today. It can change after a week, a month, a year, 2 years. So I've seen in my group there are more than 900 people. They keep on sharing. When I ask them, they don't even read what I sent. They have not even listened to one video, but they keep on giving gyan. So, friends, not that whatever I'm saying is the best and the final is the ultimate. Not at all, friends. So pay attention. Thank you very much for listening, and I wish you good luck. You can listen to my videos. If you have any queries, you can speak to me. I'm passionate to share my knowledge to people. In the last 9 years, I've invested more than 6,000 hours. I want all of you to learn in 2 days. So that much content is there. And thank you very much for listening. Once again, my mobile number is 9840852996. 9840852996. Friends, just remember, in a lot of YouTube, there are people tell you, okay, you if you want to reduce your belly fat, you drink this particular juice, and there is no address. Don't follow people who don't have any address and phone numbers. Thank you very much for listening. I wish you good luck.